Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to have you here today. I'm just going to give it a few minutes until everyone gets to connect before we jump in. Thank you so much for being here. This has been such a long time wanting to do this, and I am just so grateful that you guys are here today. Let me know, please. Let me just activate the chat. Yes. Let me know if you can hear me okay, and let me know where you're connecting from. So right now for me is 10:30 a.m. I am in South Australia, but let me know where you're connecting from. Oh, Heather. Hello, Heather. Hello, Yvette. Oh, from Texas, Chicago, California. Wow. Amazing, Canada. Okay, guys, so it's still a decent time for you. I'm not making you get up at 2 a.m. in the morning or anything like that. So that is really, really good to know. India. Oh, you're waking up at 5:30 in the morning. And Ina, you are a trooper. It's 2 a.m. Wow. From Los Angeles, Florida. Wonderful. I haven't visited the US in gosh, in over 10 years, but it's a well overdue trip. My sister lives actually in New Jersey. Oh, amazing. Melbourne. Okay. Yes, Melbourne is half an hour ahead from Adelaide. That's awesome. I miss Melbourne. I lived there for 3 years. Okay, and now, so you are from all over the world. That is amazing. That just blows my mind every time that I get to connect live with you guys. Let me know about where you're at in business. So if you're just getting started and you have like that little bug of the entrepreneurial bug, I like to call it, and you're just starting to think about ideas and you want to create an online business, drop a one on the chat. And if you are already operating a business and you have a business running or you're starting to move the pieces, drop a five. Let me know. Awesome. Lots of fives. In between one and five. I love this. One and five. Yes, that should be definitely an option between one and five. I think that for a long time it's going to feel like one and five. Like you have one foot where you're just trying to figure out a lot of things and then amazing. Okay, let's just kick this started. I am going to close the chat for a little bit and then at the end we're going to go back to this. So don't worry. Just take notes of everything that you're going through. If you have any questions, we're going to go to it at the end. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Look, first of all, I am so glad to be sharing this space with you. I am so glad that we're here. And today we're going to crack open the content code. And the content code is basically the roadmap that has helped me and so many other entrepreneurs reaching the goal of 6 figures. And I'm going to break down the strategies and the framework that I followed. So hopefully you can start implementing this as well yourself. And I'm going to be very clear about something is that this is not, and I've learned this the hard way. This is not about working harder. This is about working smarter. And the way that you get to work smarter, because it seems like such an ambiguous concept, is to actually having a set of simple strategies that actually work and that build on each other. Okay. By the end of this workshop, what I want you to take is that you walk away with clarity first, with confidence, because that is a huge part of the process, and with the tools to create a profitable business in your terms, not on my terms, not with my cookie cutter approach, with your own framework. So let's dive in. I am so excited. I was preparing this for weeks and I am just very glad that we get to do it today. Okay, so before we get started, I want you to know something, and is that you are exactly where you're meant to be. So if you feel that perhaps you are a little bit stuck or you feel overwhelmed in any capacity, and that you're not seeing the results that you want yet, I understand where you are. I see you, I've been there, and it might not be what you want to hear, but it's a normal part of the process. And it is a stepping stone for everything that comes next, because you don't know what works until you go through a lot of what doesn't. There is, however, a better way, and I'm going to show you how we're going to step out of that hustle culture and align your business with your greater purpose, okay? Now, this sounds a little bit woo-woo, but bear with me because this is going to make sense in the next few slides. And finally, I want you to create the type of success that feels good to you just as much as on the outside and everything you share as it feels on the inside. And here's what we're going to be covering today. So first, we're going to be talking about mindset and alignment, because everything that you do on the outside, any type of success that you can think of, it starts on the inside first. And then we're going to dive into magnetic messaging, which you guys know that I absolutely love magnetic messaging, because that is how we're going to get our content to work 24/7 for us. And I'm going to teach you how to structure the way you communicate with your audience in a way that connects deeply, that the only possible action that they can take is to purchase your products and to fall in love with your brand. Then we're going to put it all together in a sustainable content strategy. So we're going to be talking about simplifying the workflow, batching, and creating multiple things at once. Because I really want you to recover some of your time and to really maximize your input with the results that you can get. And towards the end, we're going to have a space for Q&A. So after everything that we go through, you get to ask questions that you have, and hopefully we get to solve some of those roadblocks that you have today. And before I forget, at the end, there is going to be a special bonus. And I want to be clear, kudos to you for showing up live. I announced this just 2 days ago. So I announced it on my email list and announced it yesterday on stories, and you're here today. And kudos to you for doing that, because the bonus is only going to be available while you're live. Okay, this is not going to be available for anyone else. It's going to be just during the workshop. So I am very glad that you're here. Okay, so don't worry, you're going to have plenty of time after I announce it. So let's dive in. My name is Tina. If you don't know me, I think you know me because you're here. So you probably would have seen my content on Instagram. You may be out on my email list. You have heard something about me. I hope that good things, mostly. And I'll tell you a little bit about me in a non-business capacity. I have 2 beautiful little children. My daughter Lola is almost 2. God, where did time go? And my son Noah is a little bit over 4. So it's a full house and it's a full-on life, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I am married to a gorgeous Portuguese man that I met in a coffee shop when I used to be a barista, when I was doing my MBA. He was one of my clients. That was super professional of me, but in my defense, it was all him. So there's that. And I am an online business coach. And I tend to do things a little bit different, basically because I built my entire business in throwing out of the window every single piece of advice I was giving about growing on Instagram and about building a business. So I am from the school, or let's say the surroundings that I had were from the school that everything has to be very proper, very neat, very professional, nearly borderline stark, and completely impersonal with your audience and with your clients. And I never aligned with that. And I'm going to break down exactly how I do things and what has been the key factor to having the success and achieving the results that I have so far. And Lisa, when it comes to business, some of you might have heard this story already. And I started my first business when I was 6 years old, give or take. I was 6 years old. I think that was probably 4 years on this photo. And I used to make crafts out of anything that I had at home. And I used to make these little cards. And I used to sell them to my dad. And he will purchase them all. Like, I think that I used to sell them to him for, if any of you are Colombian, you will know the equivalent, 20 pesos, and 20 pesos would have been like 2 cents or something like that. And I will make a huge bag and I will wait for him to come back home from work, and then I will sell them all to him. And he was super happy, excellent customer service. And I think that that was the stepping stone for me to kind of start getting that entrepreneurial bag of, okay, I would like to have a business. I would like to make money my way on my own terms. I have been running a business solo since 2014. I graduated from photography from Photo Imaging in Melbourne in 2014, and I started freelancing at the time. I completed my MBA in Adelaide, where I live now, in 2017. I started my online business in 2023, and I made my first $1 million in 2024, which seemed surreal because in my previous business, in my photography business, it was, I'm not going to say it was a struggle, but it took a lot to break that barrier of the first 6 figures. And prior to this, I have a huge background in corporate marketing and commercial departments. So the shift from being able to run a business on my own terms, and I'm going to say that it's all rainbows and butterflies because you know me and I have been so candid from the start, and is that this probably doesn't require only 1 to 2 hours a day and just Wi-Fi and the skills of a 12-year-old, like so many people make it seem online, and it's so deceiving, and it just my blood boils when I hear that. Eventually, when you grow your business and when you have more room to breathe and when you can hire a team or you can hire VAs, you are going to get a lot of that time back. Okay, I've started building my team and I've started to gain that time back. But right now, when you're starting a business, it's all obviously a lot of work and it's a big learning process. So I feel where you are. Okay, so enough about me. Let's dive into what you really came here for, okay? And look, after years of trying to grow on Instagram, so many revelations have come. And it was not even because I was trying to sell digital products at the time or not, because I wasn't. I wanted to basically drive traffic to my photography business. I was a photographer. I'm still a photographer, but I was mainly running my photography business, and I just wanted to drive traffic to my business. I wanted to get more followers, so I will get more bookings, so I will get more social proof. Okay, so far so good. And everything felt like a hike. And I mean like a very steep hike, almost like wearing the tallest of high heels. It was not easy. And it wasn't until I started this business and after going to create a ridiculous amount of content daily that I fast-tracked my trial and error. So it wasn't because I magically got good and got it right. It's just because I tried and I failed a lot in a short amount of time. And now, hopefully, after that, hopefully you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. So one of those mistakes was that, yes, I was getting rich in my content. I was going viral in multiple videos, but I was not converting that traffic into sales, okay? And then I reached a point where I was fastly approaching burnout, like fastly, and creating so much content, it just didn't feel sustainable anymore. And it was almost taking the joy out of it. And I had to get very clever with the time that I had without sacrificing the quality and the strategy of my content. And lastly, instead of simply writing long captions for the sake of having a big chunk of text that makes you look, oh wow, so professional, I had to develop a very small formula, very simple to implement, that would allow me to carry my message in a powerful, in a potent way to my audience and just get that content to continuously work 24/7 for me. So let's talk about the foundation of everything that we're covering today. And this is the heart of the entire process. This is the code. It's not something fancy, but it's something effective. And if you've been wondering what separates all those people that seem to thrive effortlessly from those who keep hustling and not getting results, this is it. Like, this is the core success factor behind it all. And it's not just a catchy name. It's a proven framework, guys. And it aligns 3 key areas that every successful entrepreneur needs to master, and you're going to master these at different stages in your journey. You're going to have mindset, messaging, and strategy. So do not forget any of those three. You have the triangle to remember: mindset and alignment, magnetic messaging, and a sustainable content strategy. And let me tell you, when you get this right, it's like you flipping the switch on your business, because everything starts to flow. And the guesswork that you had, the self-doubt, the can I do this? Will this work? That completely goes off the window. And that's when you start getting results, because you aligned what's on your head with what you're saying, and you make it in a way that is sustainable and that you can carry it through time. So let's talk about mindset first, because all the strategies in the world and all the frameworks that I give you mean absolutely nothing if you're stuck in self-doubt and in fear. Your beliefs about yourself, about your business, about what's possible, that set the tone to everything else. And in a quote of Henry Ford that I love dearly, that quote, and is, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. If you believe that you can make it, and you believe that you can be successful, and you can believe that you can have 10K months, 50K months, 100K months, whatever it is, you can do it. But if you're sitting there thinking, that seems so unattainable and I cannot do that, rest assured that you're not going to do it because you don't believe it's possible. And again, this sounds a little bit woo-woo, but we start crafting a reality with everything that we have in our mind. And when your mindset is aligned with your goals, you show up with energy, with clarity, with conviction, and your audience can tell that. And I've been there. I have times where I feel like my energy is, I'm dropping the ball with my energy, and my audience can feel that. So that's when things are going to start shifting for you. That's when everything is going to fall into place and when you're going to feel into alignment. I want to be clear, and is that doing this on its own is not the strategy, because you need to match this with your work. And then we have magnetic messaging, which is basically your words. It's how you make people feel, how you make them feel seen and heard. And whether it's in a caption, in an email, in a direct message, in your stories, you have the power of attract and repel. And it's not about saying always the right things. It's about saying the things that matter to your specific audience, because you're not going to appeal to everyone. And that is exactly what we want. We want to funnel your right customer, your ideal follower, and all those ones who don't feel the description and who perhaps are aligned with something else, they're going to fall off the wagon, and that is okay. And then we have the sustainable content strategy. And look, you can have the best mindset, you can have the clear-cut messaging, but if you don't have a plan, all those efforts are going to go to waste, because you're going to be reaching burnout very, very easily with the amount of work that you probably have to do as an entrepreneur. And this is about creating content that not only performs well and that has all the right metrics, but that builds momentum over time. So I don't want you to be constantly starting from scratch every time you're creating something. Everything you have created so far, or that you create in your business, is a pathway to show you what works and what doesn't. And that's what we're going to learn to analyze. Because when you combine these three elements, when you combine mindset, messaging, and a sustainable content strategy, you are going to unlock a whole new level in your business, because you're not going to be throwing spaghetti at the wall anymore. Okay, you're going to have a strategy to know that you are following something that actually resonates with your audience and that is going to bring you money, which is ultimately the goal. So now that we've seen the three pillars, let's just jump in and let's go into the first part, that is a core component that has been key to the success of any entrepreneur. And when you look at the most successful entrepreneurs in business, you're going to find a common trait, and it's that in business, mindset is 80% of the work. And it seems so crazy because we spend so much time doing so many other things. But it's the Pareto rule, 80-20. The 20% of work brings the 80% of the results. And here is what more people are not going to tell you. And it's that it's not about going viral. It's not about just the tactics. It's about the energy and the intention that you bring into your work. Because if you're showing up from a place of doubt, fear, of scarcity, no strategy in the world is going to cut it. If I was showing up here in front of you, in front of your screen, and I'll be here just covering my hands, and I'll be just hiding here, and I was talking very low because I'm not feeling very confident, you're not going to understand and believe a single thing of what I'm saying. And when you start believing in yourself, and when you know that what you have to give to the world is of value, the way you deliver your message completely shifts. So alignment is about connecting your work with your zone of genius. There are things that you're great at, and there are things that you're not great at, and that's okay. So we're going to focus on the things that we are the best at, and we're going to explore that. Because it's about believing that you're capable of achieving your goals, that you're worthy of that success that comes with them. And when you align your mindset with your actions, everything starts to feel natural. And most importantly, you're going to make such a bigger impact in your life and in your community. You might have started this business because you want more money, you want to scale your business, you want to bring more peace and more freedom to your family, to the decisions that you make. But don't you ever underestimate the power you have on all the others that are seeing you, even if it's 10 views or you're stuck in a 200 view jail, like some call it. Those are 200 people that you're impacting. Those are 200 people that might be the first time listening about the product that you're selling. So do not ever underestimate this. And because here's the thing, your mindset is either your biggest superpower or your biggest roadblock. And today we're going to choose the superpower. Okay? When it comes to mindset and alignment, the first step in everything you do is awareness. I want you to think about the beliefs you currently have that you feel are holding you back. And I'm talking about those little voices in your head that say, you're not ready, Jane. You don't have what it takes. Who do you think you are to do this? I'm sorry if your name is Jane. I usually use Janine, but Jane just came to my mind. And these beliefs are not facts. They're stories you're telling yourself. And the good news is that stories can be rewritten. So in this step, we're going to flip the switch completely. And we're not going to completely ignore those feelings of or doubts or feelings of unworthiness that you may have. We're going to rewrite them because there are always 2-3 sides to the same story. So I want you to grab pen and paper if you have it next to you. And if not, just grab your notes. And put down one belief that's been holding you back. So it might be, I am completely new, I don't have anything to teach, or this is not going to work because I am so busy with my full-time job, or whatever it is. Just write it down. I wish I could be seeing what you're doing, but seriously, just write it down. And instead, for example, of saying, I don't know enough to succeed, I want you to write, I am constantly learning and growing, and my expertise is valuable. Because you see the shift, like you're going from focusing in the lack of how you don't know enough to acknowledging that you're a work in progress and you're working towards a bigger goal. The same belief is there. It's just the way you are approaching it and reframing it. Because here's the thing. When you shift your mindset, you don't just change how you think, you change how you show up. And when you show up differently, you get different results. And let's do a very, very short exercise just for fun. If you have a business already, just check off your last few posts, or simply just imagine yourself having a conversation with a follower on your DMs. How will you show up? How will you talk to them, or how will you talk in your content if you knew they were going to buy? If you had like, they are telling you they're just walking into your store, or they're just sliding on your DMs because you know they're going to buy. The entire language that you use is a lot more assertive. The communication, the tone, the empowerment, everything is different than when you don't know if they're going to buy. Because when you don't know if they're going to buy, perhaps self-doubt creeps in, and you start wondering like, oh, yes, no, but actually my product is really good. Like it's really helped my students. Whether if you already know they're buying, you are going to talk with so much more confidence. So every time you get a DM, every time you get a message, assume in your mind that they are buyers and treat them as such. Let's talk about the second part of the code, and it's magnetic messaging. And if mindset is the why behind your business, messaging is the how, okay? And it's how you're going to communicate the value in a way that feels authentic and in a way that feels irresistible to your audience. But there is a catch, and it's that messaging is not just about what you say, it's about how you make people feel. So think about the brands and the creators that you love the most, okay? Just picture one in your mind. And it's not just about the products of service or services that they have that you love. It's about the way they make you feel, the way they show up, the way they communicate with you. And to be fair, you might even remember them for something that is not even necessarily what they sell. It's something else about their brand or something, a feeling that they evoked in you once during a post or any type of communication piece that you came across. Okay? You buy first people, then you buy the products. Always remember that. And all of these starts with an understanding of your audience in a super deep level and knowing exactly what they need to hear. Like when you know exactly what they need to hear, you know exactly what to talk about. So if I know that I'm talking to people who are extremely overwhelmed with time, perhaps they're corporates and they don't have time and they're juggling a lot of other things, but they really want to start their business, the last thing I'm going to talk about is about the number of videos that my course has. So I'm not going to show up saying Elevate has 10 plus hours of content and it has 7 stages with all these videos inside, because that is not what they value. I know that for them, what they're going to value is the framework and the clear-cut strategy that I have inside the course and how everything is break down into actual steps that people can implement because they don't have time to waste. If I have someone that perhaps wants the in-depth course material and they say, hey, I really want to break this down into like the smallest of pieces I can get, I will explain everything in detail because I know that they're going for that robust strategy. Or if someone is telling me, hey, I am so sick and tired of getting courses because I feel that I need a more hands-on approach, I'm going to talk about how there are actually opportunities, weekly opportunities for us to connect live and to chat and answer questions in real time, and how there are community leaders and who are people who are actually willing to support them all the way. So I'm not going to talk about the wrong things. I'm going to talk about the things that matter to them. And that goes for absolutely everything in your content. So I'm going to show you how to use storytelling, value-driven content, and super important, clear call to actions that actually tell them what to do. That this goes beyond using a CTA of drop X word to receive the link. It goes way further because we need to really uncover the action that we are asking them to take needs to be strategic as much for them as for our business. Now, this is a very simple formula, very, very simple formula. But it's going to save you a lot of the thinking in how to craft your messaging. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see people online is trying to talk to everyone, okay? Because you think that you're going to miss out on some sort of magic number of sales if you narrow yourself too much. And again, it's not about narrowing yourself, but it's about being specific about the person that you're talking to. So try to appeal to everyone, you connect with absolutely no one. I'm going to say this again. When you try to appeal to everyone, you end up connecting to absolutely no one because it feels impersonal, and your audience need to feel that you're speaking directly to them, almost like if you were inside their head. And I want you to think about one specific transformation that your audience craves. Just one. It can be many things that you know about them, but just think about that one transformation. And maybe it's going from overwhelmed to organized, from stress to emotionally regulated, from toxic relationships to a healthy relationship with a partner, if you're a relationships coach. And for this part, we're going to be a little bit strategic because we're going to dig deep into your personal stories. Yeah, like deep, like descriptive deep. And this is not about exposing things that you don't want to talk about, because by all means, you have your boundaries. But I want you to dig deep. And this is a big part of the framework that I use. Because when you dig deep and when you uncover and peel all those layers, is when you're going to learn in your audience to a more intimate place. And when you're choosing your story, I want you to think about your audience and have your audience at heart. And I don't want you to use a story that perhaps paints you just of how great she is and how much money she's made and how knowledgeable and how expert and how whatever, because there's nothing in there for them. The last thing and the biggest pitfall of storytelling is positioning yourself as the hero. The hero in the story of your emails, of your DMs, of your captions, of everything. The hero is your audience. You are the guide. You're just holding their hand and you're showing them the way. And that's what they want you for. So the goal with the story is that we're going to show them that you've been where they're at. And I want you to craft a story around that transformation that your audience seeks. You can find a story in a different path of life that is not necessarily related to business. So I have even used stories at some point about a time that I visited my son's speech pathologist and we were having a discussion about food therapy, and a concept that the therapist was talking about was something that I was able to translate into a story for my audience about the different points of connection that we have with the audience and the way that it relates to food. And right now, when I try to explain it, you can think like that has absolutely nothing to talk about. But when I made sure that I was connecting the story to that point that I was trying to make in my post, it just flew effortlessly and it performed extremely well because I was being able to take an abstract concept and just bring it into a story that was relatable to people. And most importantly, that mattered to them. So every time that you're sharing your story or your stories, because it can be more than one, you're going to use the magnetic formula and it's going to have value. It's going to start with a strategic story. You're going to pack the value in the middle and then you're going to have the CTA. Okay. And the value can come in the form of a transformation. So don't forget the call to action at the end, because I think that is something that a lot of people do forget. And if you're starting out, I say this from experience. If you're starting out, you don't have that many followers, perhaps you feel a little bit silly saying, comment below, because you're not getting many comments. Okay, but one, you need to get used to it. And two, you don't know where your content is going to get traction. And content can perform. I have posts that have been dormant for a month. And then out of the blue, they start going viral. We know, like, completely unexpected. So if I would have dropped, let's say, my call to actions, the time that my content starts performing better and my account starts taking off, I'm going to be missing on all those things. Now, I'm going to show a little example. And it's very different when you drop a generic message where you say, hey, this is my course, this is my product, it comes in blue, green, and red, or my course has 87 pages, DM me for details, or comment the word guide for details. If perhaps I start weaving some storytelling and I start just pairing that with my story, and I go with like, I remember that I was constantly refreshing my account to see if my views had gone up, only to see that I had wasted 3 more hours creating one single reel. And it was so frustrating, and I was literally about to give up. That part of the story connects with people that have been on the same position. Or telling them that I have a product that is great, that can make them money, that I can resell or whatever for X amount of money. The story is going to anchor that belief in their minds that I've been to where they are. And now I can say like, hey, and then I realized that it was never about how long it was taking me to post, but it's about how well I was breaking down viral formats. So I'm giving them value there because I'm actually letting them in on what changed for me. And then in the part of your caption, you can just lead your CTA with authority, and you can say, and now I am giving you the code, or I broke everything down in XYZ guide, and I'm giving you access to it. Comment, keyword, whatever. When it comes to the CTA, I want you to notice something. And it's that you're not just dropping a CTA for the sake of dropping it. And you're not just dropping comment freedom and that's it. I want you to, when you use your CTAs, one, that they respond to the point where you want to take them with the goal of that post. And two, that you tell them what they're going to get from it. Comment guide, and you're going to receive my 20-page guide on how I'm going to break down exactly that for you because they need to see the value. Now, selecting the right story can be the difference between you creating a post that resonates with your ideal follower or a rant. So make sure that the story you use has a connection point with your audience and can show the transformation that is going to lead them into that action that you want them to take. Every time that you create a post or any type of communication, I want you to have an end goal in mind. Is this leading them to my freebie? Is this leading them to my paid product? Is this leading it to more DM conversations? Is this leading it to more following? Whatever it is, have a clear goal in mind because how you choose this defines everything else in your strategy that you're going to start building. For example, if you have an audience that is made out of moms, you're not going to necessarily be using stories about how you are backpacking around the world, living your life for freedom. Not that moms don't have freedom, because we do, but perhaps moms will resonate with something else. Okay? You can perhaps, if you don't have kids yourself, you can perhaps share a story about something that you experienced with your parents when you were 7, or something that can bring and move that emotionality within the desired audience. The whole point of this is making them feel something, okay? And now let's go into this beauty, and we're going to bring it all together with, I hope you're enjoying this. I love this. I absolutely love this topic. And it's been such a game changer for me to be able to master these 3 aspects: mindset, magnetic messaging, and sustainable content strategy. Because when you have one of them that feels slightly off, your complete strategy is out of whack. You can be thinking great things and you can be creating the best messaging, but fact, you are just completely burned out because you can't keep up. So I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. So content creation doesn't really have to be overwhelming or exhausting. We might sometimes hate the algorithm, and that is completely okay. That is absolutely part of the process. It's not about doing more. It's about doing more of what's working well and working smarter. And that starts with having a system that works for you. Because a sustainable content strategy, it's about leveraging the 20% of your content that drives the 80% of the results. This is the same Pareto rule that I was talking before. And it's about repurposing, it's about batching, it's about focusing on the things that are actually moving the needle. I don't care how great traction that motivational post or the remix is having if it's not moving the needle with your goals. If your goals is reached, by all means, remix away. But if that type of content is not driving conversions and is not giving you the metrics that you're seeking, don't use it. I don't want you to be stuck in a wheel of creation, in a hamster wheel. I want you to be able to direct your efforts and maximize your output. So I'm going to show you how to build a strategy that saves you time, that maximizes your impact, and gives a clear pathway for your audience to take them where you want them to go. Okay? This has to be intentional. Like, so many times, I think we end up posting content just throwing spaghetti at the wall because we're in the discovery phase, and that is okay. I want to be clear with that. Throwing spaghetti at the wall is not evil, and it's okay. It's part of the process, and it's how we discover what works. Like, we don't know what works until we do a lot of things of what doesn't work. And I'm going to get started with 3 things that are going to be your best friends during this whole process. And I want you to just get them ingrained in your mind. And I know you know them. If you are a level 5 or if you're between 1 and 5, you've heard this. And it's content pillars, content batching, and a repurposing strategy. And for the pillars, I'm going to show 3 of the ones that I use the most. And those ones are engagement, authority, and sales. And content pillars are like your guideposts. They are not themes or topics. They are very specific things that are going, like, I like to think of them as gateways. So you have door number 1, door number 2, and door number 3. And you know that when you create content, the content is going to come out of one of these doors. There's no another door. Like, if I have my pillars and I know exactly what I'm going to be content about, and I know exactly what my audience what I want my audience to remember me by, I'm not going to suddenly just drop a parachute in the middle of there or just discard it from the bottom, because it's not going to make sense for my brand. This gets confused often with topics. So perhaps you're in wellness and you have healthy recipes, workouts. Those are not pillars. Those are topics that you can fit within those pillars. And to be honest, there are so many pillars, so many of them, and they will vary for you and your brand. These are my 3 core ones. But you can have things like education, personal connection, community building, behind the scenes, motivation as part of your core pillars, Q&As that perhaps you know that some posts are just specifically tackle Q&As, hot topics or polarizing opinions, the tools that you use in your business. Like, it will change depending on your goals in your business. So choose 3 to 4 pillars. I wouldn't say go beyond that. So you can at least focus on a specific set of topics at a time. And when you have your pillars, when you know exactly what you want your audience to remember you by, we're going to start moving into content batching. And this is a batching flow that I like to use. And this is a massive part that I have inside Elevate. And it's helped so many of my students stay consistent and cut the production time in half. Not just that, but it's making the entire content creation a lot more approachable, because it doesn't feel like this giant, overwhelming task that you have to do all at once. It's just something that you can take one piece and repurpose it and use it wisely into multiple formats. So I don't care where you do it. It can be in the back of a napkin, in a notebook, in your notes app, in a Word document, in a spreadsheet. Inside of the course, I have it inside a spreadsheet, a like very detailed spreadsheet where you can select like everything from your pillars, from the type of post, whether it's a draft, if it's published, it's super detailed and it helps a lot. But I don't care where you do it. But for this exercise, I don't mind. Just keep it centralized, because if you have too many tabs open and you have too many documents and too many notes, it's going to be very hard for you to make sense of this. So when it's game time and you're starting to plan your content, you approach this phase, I want you to choose one of your pillars, okay? And for each one of your pillars, you're going to drop 3 to 5 ideas per pillar. And for each one of those ideas, for each idea, you're going to create 3 posts, 3 different formats. And I will go even to say 4 if we're including stories on this. So you can have like the format, the B-roll reel can be a B-roll of you walking, you're sipping on some coffee, you're typing something on the computer, you are brushing your hair, whatever is relatable to your brand and your audience, okay? And then you will have some text on screen and you will have like a very jam-packed, a value jam-packed caption. And the second format that you're going to create for the exact same idea is a longer reel. So you can do a voiceover with multiple clips that alternate, or you can be talking to the camera, or you can be simply changing the frames and having text that drops at different times. Stay within the same idea, but you're going to expand this in a much different way. And here's a trick. When you have a longer reel, everything that I use in the caption on this previous one is going to give you the framework to drop it on the longer reel. And then you have a carousel. And like this, look, I don't care if there's anything that you take out of this workshop, is do not sleep on carousels. Right now, do not sleep on carousels. Just go and create carousels, because they're having a much bigger impact than reels right now. They're great to reach your current audience, to position yourself as an authority, because people save and share those ones a lot more than they do with reels. And now, after you have all of this, like all of this that you see on screen, all of these things, and after you post them and done, dusted, you're going to select the top 20% of them, and you're going to create templates that you can repurpose. So you're going to break down everything. You're going to break down everything. You're going to break down the hooks. You're going to break down the audios, the captions. And I want you to dissect everything. You're going to create more of that 20% every week. That's your stepping stone for the next week. And then what you're going to do at the end of the next week, you're going to grab the 20% and you're going to make it better. And you're only going to end up with an improved version of the content that performs the best. And look, go ahead and take a screenshot of this, because I want you to be able to use this. And this can be your calendar for the next week. These are examples of content that you can create using each one of these 3 pillars that I use, and creating a reel and a carousel daily. If you're only posting once a day, that is totally okay. You're going to be a lot more strategic with the content that you create, but just go ahead and tweak this to your own niche and save it so you can hopefully gain back some of your time after this. So they're geared towards engagement, sales, and authority. And now I'm going to cover something, and it's a little tip about trending audios. So what we have been, I guess, told, and we have been experiencing is choose trending audios, which are, do you see this little arrow here next to the blue circle? So those are trending audios. When you're scrolling on your Reels tab, those are your trending audios. If you're in a country where you have access to that feature, some countries don't. And not just that, what you're going to do is that, oh, why did you leave me? I'm trying to play this on the screen, but I'm not being able to. Oh, that is apaga. It's not letting. Okay, so what we're going to do is, when you click on the trending audio, you're going to have a look at the videos that the last top performing videos on that page. And if those videos have interactions within the last 1 to 2 weeks, that is a good sign that that audio is currently being promoted and pushed. If you have just a bunch of old posts at the top of comments and things over like 9 weeks to 2 months, whatever it is, they're still good and you can still use it because it's not a foolproof strategy, but it will be better to perhaps stick to other ones that have a little bit more engagement. Okay, now we've seen the power of the code. So let's talk about the next step, and that is actually putting this into action. Because here's the thing. Knowledge is only powerful when it's paired with implementation. And you've taken the first step in showing up here today. And now it's time to take all those strategies that we've covered and just make them work for you. And I know you might be thinking like, this sounds great, but how do I actually start? Or how do I make sense of this? And I don't want you to worry, because I've created a framework that is going to guide you step by step in everything that you're going to be doing. And this is not about overwhelming you or about giving you more things to do. It's about a clear and actionable roadmap that can simplify the process and can accelerate your results. And I'm going to talk to you about Elevate. And Elevate is my signature program. And I build this around the exact same framework and more that we covered today in the code. It's mindset, alignment, magnetic messaging, and sustainable content strategy all together in one, and going in so much more depth. So I want you to think of this as a shortcut of sorts to consistent leads, to consistent sales, and to growth that makes sense to you. Because it's designed to take you from being overwhelmed and not knowing where to do, and perhaps feeling a bit conflicted with, there is so much noise and so many strategies, and what do I do? What do we implement? Because the thing is that most days, most courses or most things that we see online, they give you a cookie cutter framework. Like, this is what's worked for me, and this is what I want you to do. And turns out that your business is unique, is different, and you have an audience that is completely separated perhaps from what that person created. And that is the beauty of Elevate, because it actually helps you create your own framework. It helps you create your own strategy, and it allows you to be hands-on with support and with everything that you need. So, and I want you to imagine this for a second and see yourself waking up to an inbox full of leads, Okay, this is not wishful thinking, this is visualization. We're going to picture that inbox full of leads and people who are excited, people who want to work with you, people who feel clear and confident. And that is only going to transform you into the business owner that you want to be. And I want you to start feeling that transformation now, because this has to go beyond daydreaming. This has to go into action. And I want to share a little bit of a story of Victoria, who's inside the course. And Victoria spent so many years, I don't know if she's connected today. She spent so many years with high ticket coaching and paying for programs and paying for mentors who were telling her that her ideal client was not profitable. Okay, they were telling her, you cannot make money serving this person. And I remember talking to her in a one-on-one session that we had, and just completely breaking down all those barriers that they had imposed in herself, and completely reorganizing the framework and the communication and everything that she was going for. And after that, seeing her signed a 5K deal with that same ideal follower that everyone else deemed it was not profitable enough. That happens when you align your message, when you align your strategy to the people that you truly want to serve. Now, this is amazing. Like, I think like this screenshot, I took it from after we finished Elevate, but I think Juanita is over 30K now. Just a few weeks after going inside Elevate, she grew over 20,000 followers, and she has a faceless account. She was creating content that not only connected, but content that converted as well. And I remember talking to her in a recap we did at the end of a cycle that we had inside Elevate, and customers actually coming to her, asking her who was writing her captions, because they sounded so nice and so compelling. And they thought, I think a copywriter was doing them, and it was actually her. And just seeing the look of pride in her work, because all the effort that she was putting into her business was actually yielding results. And I want you to think something, and it's that being right here, watching this, is proof enough. It's proof enough that you're actively seeking for your next step, that you're seeking for your transformation, that there's something else that you want to learn. And whether it's starting a business completely from scratch online, or if you are already running a business and you want to take it to a level where you feel aligned and that is yielding constant results, you are ready to take action because you're here and you're listening to this and you care. Beyond you listening to this is that you care enough for your business and your audience to want to be doing something about it. And I'm going to tell you a little secret, and it's that voice that you have in your mind of wanting to do that is not going to go away, because that is like an elephant in the room, and elephants are big and they don't go away just by us closing our eyes. So believe me, I ignored this for a very long time. The wanting to create a business online, I stay watching at people like Jenna Kutcher and Amy Porterfield and Jasmine Star for so long. And it seemed unattainable to do it at the time for me. It seemed unattainable. And the voice didn't go away. I ignored it for long enough. And even though I believe that we are where we are supposed to be, like you are here in this part of your journey because this moment is right for you, that voice in your head probably wishes that you would have taken action sooner. And that is okay. The best time to start something and to start a transformation, it was 4 years ago, and the next best time is today. So, because you showed up today, and because you're here live, and you're watching this on your screen, I've got something extra special for you. Okay? This is only for the workshop. This is not going to be available after the workshop. Currently, Elevate is running a launch price until the 26th of December for a $397, which is $100 off already of its price. And for the rest of the duration of the workshop, like from now until the Q&A, you are going to be able to have an extra discount to take a whole 30% off. So when you go to the store, whether it's my store or the affiliate that invited you here, you're going to use the code I am ready at the checkout. And remember to actually apply it after you write it, because sometimes it doesn't apply if you don't click the apply button. And you're going to take an additional $47 off. It's a little bit over $47 off. And you're going to get Elevate today for $350, which is the lowest it's ever been. So the call will expire at the end of the call. I just want to be very clear because I don't want you to miss out. And I know I'm going to get emails afterwards, but it's only going to be available until then, because I want to thank you for being here today and for sharing this space with me. Now, you're going to get also something that I like. Listen, when I was crafting this, I was like, should I even put this? Because this requires woman power. But I do believe that is a crucial step. And it's that when you join Elevate, now you're going to get an exclusive bonus, and that is a personal review of your conversion story. So I have a whole framework inside Elevate where you can learn how to craft your conversion story, okay? Where you are going to dissect all the factors that are going to align with your audience, and basically it's going to be your selling factor. And what we're going to do is that you are going to draft your conversion story. You're going to send it through to me, and I'm going to give you audio feedback on your story. So I am so excited. I cannot wait to read all your stories and everything, all the goals that you have for your business. So when you can get started creating, you know you are in the right path. And as I said before, the secret to Elevate is not giving you a cookie cutter strategy that worked for me. It's helping you create your own. And I want you to see Stacy. Stacy is one of the students inside Elevate, and she's now become also the branding coach inside Elevate. And I want you to have a look at this transformation. She went from believing that, and I think that you're connected here. I'm going to activate the chat soon. She went from believing that like she loved branding and design. And maybe she used to think like, I don't have the qualifications, or I'm not a graphic designer, and why are people going to buy my product? Am I good enough? And now she had to cut down her hours at work because she's starting to increase the flow in her branding business, and she's doing consultations for online businesses on branding. She's absolutely brilliant, and I don't have your handle here, but yes, here. So just go and check her out. Her journey begins. She did the branding of my Instagram, and she's absolutely genius. And everything started with a shift that we had inside the course, and how we took that I am not good enough to I am going to freaking do this. Now, let's just see exactly what you're going to get inside Elevate. And you're going to get personalized guidance for your business, because there is literally, and I cannot repeat this enough, there is no one size fits all when it comes to success. You're going to get the proven 7-stage framework that's helped over 150 entrepreneurs scale with ease. Everything is organized, is clear, cut in stages, so everything is progressive. You're going to get over 10 hours of self-paced video content to guide you through the entire process. There are templates and tools available for you to keep you on track and keep you accountable. There are live Q&As every week. There are challenges inside the community to break down everything further. There is also a generous affiliate option, a program where you can earn up to 70% for every sale that you refer to the program. And this is not just another course. And I want to be very clear. I'm not bringing you the next viral course. I'm bringing you the course that works for you. And I want you to just look at this. Just read this for a second. Imagine how your life could look like 1 year from now, all because you chose to believe in yourself. Okay? All because you made a decision of believing in yourself and your business. And I want you to have this very clear, and it's that you're here because you know you're capable of more. Like you felt that pull towards something bigger, towards something better, towards that greater version of yourself. And now you have a choice. You can keep trying to figure it out on your own, or you can take the shortcut. and you can let Elevate guide you every step of the way and take your business to the point that you have been envisioning for so long. And I want to make a disclaimer, and it's that you're going to dig deep. You're going to dig deep, and you're going to finally step into that mental picture that you have of your business, into that Pinterest-worthy framework of what your business is about. And I want you to feel confident to finally have the tools to bring that and to make it a reality. This is not surface level type of content. This is what Missy said. This is not surface level type of content. This is something where you're going to have to sit down, dig deep. It's comprehensive because it's going to take you step by step, but you're going to have to do some good work. And that's why we're here. The results are closer than what you think. And it takes just one decision to go all in yourself. And I remember I can pinpoint the decision when I made it, when I was sitting in my couch, nursing my baby girl, and just looking at my half-finished house and thinking, how on earth we're going to build this? And I don't do this to talk about any money that I might have made. It's just to talk about, to show you the power of a tiny, teeny decision. I spent some money that I honestly didn't have at the time to fully, not something that I recommend. I took the risk. I asked my mom for some loan, whatever, because I knew it deep inside me that it was something more. And when I look at my house now, we are about to move into my beautiful dream home where my babies are going to be running around and just living my life. After being in a spot where I didn't think I was going to be able to build it, only because I made a decision. And I'm not talking about this being the only decision. I'm talking about many pivotal times in your life where you're going to face situations like that. The path is clear, the framework is actionable, and it can be tailored to your unique business. There is flexibility, there is constant support and resources, so you don't have to do it all alone. And right now, you're getting live access to Elevate, because that is not going to be like that in the future. You're going to be part of the founding members. And I want to be very candid, and is that I am here just to hold a mirror. I'm here to show you that you're meant for so much more, because that voice in your head is not going away. And if you're listening to this, I have the feeling that you know that too. So if you're ready for the final step into the next stage in your business and being the most powerful and brightest and most impactful, do not let the impact out of the equation, impactful version of yourself, this is the time. What you're going to do now is that you can scan this code and it will take you directly to purchase Elevate. I know that if you're watching this on your phone, you might not be able to do this. You can go onto my profile and you can check my store. And if you were invited here by any of the affiliates of Elevate, any of the people that are affiliates for Elevate, I want you to please go to the page and to purchase through the page. Now, you can scan this code directly, or you can go to my Instagram at Tina Loaiza Official, just in case you didn't know I changed my handle. I'm not Faceless Method anymore, Tina Loaiza Official. You're going to access my store. And friend, the ball is in your court. I am going to open the floor for some questions, and I hope that I remember how to do this. So give me a second. Bear with me, please. Thank you so much for joining in. Seriously, I am so grateful that, let me see, more Q&As. Beautiful. Let's move it here. Okay, guys, if you have your questions, I'm actually going to, the Q&A sometimes is a little bit hard to watch, so let's just open the chat so you can, beautiful. Okay, so the chat is now open. Please feel free to ask any questions you have, and I will get started with that. Okay. Elevate, I'm just going to pull up my doc with the questions. Beautiful. So will there be a replay of this class, of this workshop? Yes. There will be a 24-hour replay that you're going to get after we finish this call. And okay, you ask, will this work for me if I am a service-based business and I want to create digital products, but not really sure what? Yes. You can take Elevate, and you're going to learn everything from the start on how to create your online business, because it takes you from the very beginning, but it also carries you to basically structuring your business in a way that actually serves all the audience that you already have. And not only that, it's going to help you brainstorm, and it's going to help you create digital products for you and your audience. So this is not, I created actually on this launch, I included 47 new videos. And part of that education is geared towards creating your own digital products, which is something that you guys were working so much, we're asking so much. Okay. I took a long break for like 7 months. Do you have any recommendations on how to get started back up? Just get started. Just get started. That is the only recommendation that I have. In a more actionable, practical type of advice is that when you are right now, because you took a pause and you took a break, and you don't know if perhaps you are in the headspace already, the first thing that I want you to tackle is mindset. That is the first thing that is going to take you to a place where you say like, okay, I'm going to do this. And something that helped me is just setting a goal of consistency, and a goal of consistency without looking at results. So it's something that kills us as entrepreneurs, especially when you're working so much on social media, on Instagram, is thinking like, okay, I am going to post, I'm going to be consistent. And when I start posting, I was like, oh, that is flopping. Like that reel is completely underperforming. How am I going to keep up with this? Or why am I going to keep going if this is clearly showing that it's not working? But set yourself a goal. I set myself 6 months when I started. I said, I'm going to post X amount of content for X amount of months, for 6 months, and I'm not going to look at results. I don't care if I get 100 likes per reel. I couldn't care less, but I'm going to do it. And things started escalating pretty quickly after I said that. But set yourself a goal of not almost acknowledging that fear of, oh shit, it's actually working out or not. The extra discount is valid until this call is finished. So Ashley is asking, how long is the extra discount valid for? The discount is valid until we finish this call. So the minute that we say bye and we hang up, the price is going to go back to the launch price, which is still at 20% below the official price of Elevate. Okay, let me just have a look at the rest. Wonderful. Okay. How many modules are inside Elevate? So Elevate is divided into, it's organized, and after someone who's gone through so many courses, I wanted to do this different in this version of the course. And is that there are no hundreds and hundreds of modules and over 1,000 hours of content that you may perhaps find overwhelming, okay? Because I do. So I organize the course into 7 clear stages. It's going to make sense when you start from the very, very beginning and you're going to, I have no idea where to start. These are the first core components. This is how I'm going to work on everything that goes in here first. And then this is how I'm going to start crafting my strategy, how I'm going to start making my content intentional, how I'm going to go into creating my products, how I'm going to leverage email marketing, how I'm going to leverage even other platforms aside from Instagram, and how I'm going to grow my business in the long term. Okay, it's all a stage. It all makes sense, and it's 7 stages. It's jam-packed, it's 10 hours plus, but it's very organized, so it's easy to follow and it's user-friendly. The last thing that I want you to feel is that you are in a corporate classroom and you're being given a lecture. I want this to feel like a conversation with a good friend at the end of the day. Very like the way that I talk in the course is exactly the way that I've talked to you today. It's just as casual and informal as it gets because I want this to be a fresh air for you, not just something else that you have to go through. Okay. Alrighty. And you are in my Stan Store and you don't see where I can put the promo code. So when you go, I'm going to open my Stan Store here on my phone and I'm going to show you guys. And bear with me. So when you go to the Stan Store and you scroll here, sorry, I hope you can see this. Let me just show my screen. So let me know if you can see this because I can't see my screen right now. So when you go here and you go to the bottom, this area here that says discount code, this is where you put the discount code, where you put I am ready. Let me know, April, if you have success with that. And let me know, everyone, if anyone else is having issue with the code. I'm so excited for you to get it. Okay, now, affiliate discount, the affiliate program. When you join Elevate, I was looking while you were showing it. Oh, so excited, Nikki. Nikki got it. April, you were looking while you were showing it. Okay, so you were looking and you got it, or you were looking and you didn't? Let me know. The affiliate program, it's once you log in, once you get access to the course, you're going to get automatically access from Stan Store. If you don't, by any chance, just email me to info@thefacelessmethod.com.au. Okay, info@thefacelessmethod.com.au, so we can get your affiliate link sorted and you get to share that on your store. And yes, it's 70% for any sales that are referred to your link. Everything goes on. You get a 70% of it, which is amazing. Please show me again. That's okay, bro. Okay, just show one more time. So when you are on Elevate and when you go on the Stan Store and you scroll to the bottom, you're going to find this place that says discount code. I wish I could be. Let me just put my picture again so I can see what I'm doing. Yes. So you can see that there. Discount code where it says enter promo code. So right under IG handle. So you're gonna go to my store, you're going to click on Elevate, and then you're going to go to IG under IG handle, and you're going to see a space to put the discount code. Okay, guys, got it. Oh, amazing. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have you all on board. If you have any other questions, it's not on yours. It's not on yours. Okay, April. Send us a screenshot of your checkout to that email, and we'll review we'll review yours because it should be right at the bottom. If you're going from my Stan Store, when you click on the listing, so on the link that I have on my profile, or even I'm just gonna put the code again. When you scan this code on your phone, just go on your camera, leave Zoom for now, and when you scroll after all the personal details, it will show you the space for the discount code. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone. I am so excited. Wait, someone else commented something. Rosie, we will be doing an exercise around the conversion story, so don't worry about it. You got it. Oh, April, you got it. Yay. Okay. I am very thankful for having you in this space. I do not take your time lightly. Listen, I you probably have 1,000 things to do, and the fact that you're here right now, today, means a lot to me. And I am grateful to have you in my space. I hope that you learned something valuable today and you can actually go and apply that. Oh, Rosie, thank you. You are so sweet. I've been following Tina since February and she's amazing. Thank you, Rosie. I cannot wait to share Elevate with you guys and to get everything, all the ducks in a row of your business. I really want you that the desire that you have to grow and the goals that you have, they come to fruition. It's been a win world of a year for me, and beyond any personal gain and beyond any money that I can make, if I know that you are being able to execute the strategies and build the life that you are seeking and longing and that you want for your family, I'll consider that like my job done. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day and evening. Thank you for getting up early in the morning or for staying up late at night. And I cannot wait to see you inside the course. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.